Welcome everybody back to the Shabbat Table. Just as everybody starts logging on, this is Avi Roberts here in St. Louis. Welcome back everybody. And before we get to our regular program speaker, we have with us Katie Kanan, from Houston, who will share with us a few words. And she's a little bit screen shy, so everybody please give her your attention.
Thanks for that intro, Avi. Hi, I'm Katie. This is my husband, Nathan. I still love saying husband, even though it's been like, how many months has it been? I'm losing track of time with all this. 10 months, really? Yeah, I still get excited anyways. So I'm in Houston. So Rabbi Johnny of Awesome J Hype, check it out. Swag. He brought us into this program, but I'm actually Canadian. We moved here just under 2 years ago. I'm glad to be here. It's really cool to see everyone coming together from all over, and thank you for the Shabbat packages, Rabbi Johnny. They're a great motivator, but it's always good to hear everyone's thoughts. Rabbi Johnny just asked me to talk a bit about my thoughts of Shabbat. I was very lucky to grow up having Shabbat with my family every single Friday night. And we're not especially observant in other ways, but so during the week, it's just sort of, you do your thing. And then comes Friday night, everyone would always come together. My grandparents, my uncles, there were 15 of us every single week. It was just really awesome to have a reason to have all the family together. And so I asked my grandpa, when Rabbi asked me to do this, I said, I asked my grandpa, because he's the patriarch. What are his thoughts on Shabbat? And he said, Shabbat, well, it interferes with my golf on Friday nights. Classic. That's my grandpa. And so I said, okay, well then what changed? What changed? Because he's not golfing anymore on Friday nights. And he said, well, it changed when I got married, because when I was young, I would do what I wanted. But then, once I was married and we had a family, then it became very important to have this, designated time to spend together. Because during the week, we don't always have sit down meals, it's just thrown together. You're just crossing paths, you're not really connecting. But then come Friday night, everyone sits down, everyone's cleared their schedule, and you're just focused on each other. And it's super cool. And so I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Katie, for your words. I appreciate that. And I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying Shabbat with everybody. So this week's topic is the topic of Kiddush, which we make Friday night. As you mentioned, everybody getting together with a format. So that is, I would say, the beginning of the whole format. Our first week together, we were lucky enough to have Mr. Charlie Harary speak for us. So for those of you who have not heard him before, he was fantastic. He's a world-renowned motivational speaker. So Kiddush we make Kiddush actually Friday night and Shabbat day, but really the main one is Friday night. And the whole point is to sort of set the tone for Shabbat, to get into Shabbat, to take a day which is intrinsically holy and make it more holy. And we're lucky to have Mr. Charlie Harary, who's a great inspirational speaker, to share with us some inspiration about how to make our Shabbat more holy and how to make Kiddush itself more meaningful. Without further ado, take it away.
Thank you, Rabbi. It's an honor to be here. Thanks, everybody. It's great to see you guys again. Good to see your incredible rabbis. For those who have your videos on, thank you. It's, when you talk to a screen, it's like after a while, you're just looking at a camera, but now I get to see shining faces. So it brings me a lot more joy. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I want to talk to you about Kiddush a little bit. Judaism, if you look at it, we're obsessed with wine. We're always drinking. It's an amazing thing. I remember when I was in one of our biggest holidays is Purim, right? And we have this, Purim, everybody gets drunk and whatever. So I'll tell you a story. When I was in law school, I had a study group with 3 guys. It was 4 people, 3 Orthodox Jews and an Irish Catholic. We were best friends. There's so many things. We're aligned in so much, unbelievable. So he likes to drink. Apparently, him and his crew like drinking. And he says to me, he's so interested in Judaism. So he says to me, I want to find out more. We're like, no, it's okay. You got yours. We don't got to convert. We're good. You're good. We're good. We're good. So he goes, no, I want to find out more. About more. He goes, no, it's a very serious religion. But I want to find out about your religion. So he says to me, you have to invite me to your next thing. I said, I know. I just want you to feel comfortable. You're welcome to. So I said, he goes, listen, if we get A's in contracts, I'm coming to the next thing. I said, deal. We get A's in contracts, we're coming to the next thing. Okay. Contracts, we took our finals in December. We got our grades in February. The next holiday of February is Purim. Purim, everyone's getting drunk. He comes over, he's like, this is the best religion ever. I'm like, settle down. Wait for Yom Kippur. We can figure it out then. Like, if you think about it, like, we got a lot of wine in our religion. You have a bris, there's wine. You getting married, you gotta believe there's wine. Shabbat, you go in with wine, you come out with wine. Like, God knows what he's doing. He's like, listen, guys, like, as you navigate through life, like, Cabernet isn't the worst thing to take you through life. But why do we do it for? Like, we're Jews. We don't do anything for no reason. The most powerful moment of the week, the rabbis teach us, is Friday night, or one of the most powerful moments. When you stand at your Shabbat table, when you raise that cup, when you say the words of the Kiddush, in fact, the rabbis say it's as if you are testifying to the creation of the world. You're like a witness in God's court. It seems like you're just making a blessing to drink wine. Why is it different than any other time that I drink wine, my friends? What does wine symbolize? Why do we care so much about wine? Why at that moment is it so important? I want to share with you a little bit, I want to get deep a little bit here. And I want to share a concept with you. And if we get this concept together, I believe, in my humble opinion, it'll change how you see Shabbat. It'll also change how you see wine and really the purpose of it. I want to begin by talking about spirituality the way that I understand it, which is through sports. Like, when you grow up like me, like, I only look at the world through sport. Like, if you can't find like a Jordan or Brady example, like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I saw this documentary that I became obsessed with. I don't know if you've seen this before. It's called The Last Dance. Have you guys seen The Last Dance? Everyone who's seen The Last Dance? It's amazing how Netflix timed it. Like, I don't know if Netflix was behind the virus or not, but like, there's no sports except for Michael Jordan. So like, anybody who remembers Jordan in the 90s was like, that makes sense, because let's go back to the way it used to be. The Last Dance was like an incredible, incredible documentary on greatness. And after The Last Dance, they had all these interviews with all these players to sort of dissect it. And I saw an interview that took place before this thing came out with Kobe Bryant. And understanding the interview with Kobe Bryant, I understood the greatness of Michael Jordan. So just stick with me for a little bit as I go into the sports world, but with God's help, we're going to bring it back to Kiddush. Kobe Bryant said, why was Michael Jordan Michael Jordan? Kobe, I don't know if you guys remember, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan were really close. When Kobe came to the league, if anyone here is not following basketball, just stick with us just for a few more minutes. These are very, very great basketball players. When Kobe Bryant came to the league, Michael Jordan was like his older brother, and they would talk a lot. And he said in this interview that was unbelievable, you know why Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan? Because he was able to see past the indulgences of being an NBA star in pursuit of true greatness. Let me say that again. Michael Jordan was a world icon. That comes with a lot of things you get. There's a lot of things you get to enjoy in this world when you are world famous. But somehow he was able to go past them because he understood that if he would delve past them, he would unlock a greatness inside him, which will allow him to continuously win championships. It was a choice that he made to go deeper than all the joys that were in front of him. The greatness of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Tom Brady and everyone else that's achieving greatness, and by the way, it's in every industry, is this one perspective. And I want to make sure that it's clear. There's a perspective in life which is, within the thing in front of me contains that which I want even more. I would like to be comfortable, but if I go deeper, I'm going to achieve my greatness. I would like to have more things, but if I go deeper, I'm going to hold back so that I could accomplish this degree. I would like to say what's on my mind, but if I just work deeper, I'm going to treat my spouse, my friend, the person I'm in a relationship with greater honor, and we'll have a deeper relationship. What we want in life is the shells of our lives. What we need in life is something much deeper. And many times in life, the only way to get to what you want, to what you need, is by going past the thing that's the shell that's right in front of you. Greatness is not on a mountaintop. Greatness is right in front of our eyes every single day. The only question is, can you see past the shell? If you have a goal, can you see past the, I can't get up, I'm going to die, it's so early. I can't get on the treadmill. I can't. When I was running today, my workouts are Thursday, Friday. So those who work, they're impossible. Today's run, I was like, I forget it. It's weekend already. I'm like, stop, toughen up. You'll be fine. That second of giving up, that second of I can't, that second of don't, that moment, when you get past that, you go into something. And what you go into is your greatness. One of the greatest misconceptions we have is that we think that God is up. I don't know when we put him up, but somehow, somewhere in history, we put him up. Somebody put him up. Somebody said to somebody, hey, you know where we should put God? Up. So then you pray up and you talk up, and you sort of get the sense that like the guy up there is sort of disappointed at you, like you're not a good enough Jew, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm not like this guy, I'm not like that guy. We all have everyone has their Jewish complex, and we think that there's like an invisible king who looks down, and like if you're doing well, he gives you goodies, and if not, he's disappointed. He's always usually disappointed, and like he needs things, and you need things, like he needs prayers and rituals, and you need like health and happiness, and like it's a deal. Like, are you good now? Are you good now? Like we're good. Like it's called Amazon.God. And if you deliver for him and he doesn't deliver back, you're like, what's taking you so long? Like, Amazon is Prime. Like, I don't understand. You don't know where I live? Like, come on. It's supposed to be God. And if something goes wrong that you don't understand, you're like, maybe there isn't even a God. When he's up in this little invisible palace and we're on the earth, we could be like, well, maybe there's no God because this shouldn't be going wrong. Maybe you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you should give me the keys a couple of minutes. Here's the mistake. You know where God is? He's not up. I'll tell you that much. That's not Jewish. You know where God is according to Judaism? He's in the divine energy in everything. He is the energy in which this world functions. That means that inside you and inside me is a piece of the divine. Religious, not religious, into it, not into it, connected, not connected, forget it. The person who doesn't know he's Jewish and the greatest rabbi in the world, both are made with the same stuff. More spirituality than they'll ever need for the rest of their lives. You never have to become spiritual. You have to reveal spiritual. Watch how this works. Give me like 1 more minute. How much time do I got? Give me like really just watch how this works. Do you know why greatness is past the thing that you're looking for? Is because greatness is in. Greatness is when you tap into who you are. Greatness is when what's in front of you, the physical, what's in front of you that says sleep, comfort, you say, I want to be bigger. And to be bigger, you have to tap into a piece of you that's beyond physical. You feel great when you're tapping into that spiritual side of you. Spirituality is not the negation of physical. We don't live in monasteries. Spirituality is the elevation of physical. Jews have very physical lives. They're just elevated with spirituality. The focus, the goal is to marry the spiritual and the physical. The goal is to elevate our lives so that it contains the greatness within it. The goal is the spiritual connection between husband and wife, not the physical lust. The goal is the spiritual connection between man and self, by being value, not the indulgence, but it's hard. But that's where greatness lies. Elevating everything in front of us. Looking at my house, looking at my life, looking at my career, looking at my talents, looking at my friends and saying, I want to deepen it. I want to win championships. I'll pass on the indulgence of being world famous for a shot at winning a championship when I'm young. I want a real relationship. I want to really find myself. I want to really do something that's going to make a difference. I want to walk around empowered all the time, not once in a while. I want to elevate my life. Watch how this works. There is one food that we have where the outside, the shell, is worth much less than the inside. Oranges and orange juice, about the same. Pomegranates and pomegranate juice, about the same. Grapes on the outside are worth X. But when you dig to the inside of a grape, when you can get past the shell of the grape, when you get past the physical of the grape, and you get to crush them, you know what it makes? Something exponentially more valuable than the grapes themselves. Wine is the symbol that the inside is greater than the outside. That when I could go past eating the grape and crush it and fight for it and wake up earlier and study something I don't understand and try something new and grapple with the creator. And it goes through the process, but it has to be processed through whatever it has to go through. When it goes through whatever it goes through to get ultimately at that point, the true potential of wine is the symbol that what's on the inside is greater. And I have to fight for my life to become deeper. So every time there's a moment of happiness in Judaism, God says, listen, enjoy it, but remember, elevate it. New baby, elevate it. Getting married, elevate it. You have a holiday, elevate it. You sit down and it's Shabbat, there's a moment each week where you look at that table. That table contains the sustenance of your week. It's filled with delicacies. Maybe you have people around the table that you love. It's set up like a prince and a princess. And you're about to start a moment in your week. And God goes, whoa, wait. Before you do that, remember, elevate it. Bring it up. Kiddush is when you look around in your life and say, Kiddush means to kadesh, to sanctify. And you say, I want a physical life, but I want it to be sanctified. I want physical pleasures, but I want them to be sanctified. I want my life to be an elevated life. When I'm done at 120, I want people to look back and go, something about him, something about her. There's something about her. I can't put my finger on it. Special. And people feel different. They just, those people like that you know? Grandparents, rabbis, mentors. You know what I'm talking about? Something about, because they're elevated or they're elevating. The week is so busy. We're running around so much. And finally we stop. Finally, like the treadmill just shuts. And for a few moments, if we're able to put the phone away and we get like a second to breathe, inspiration comes when everything slows down. When you go to a life cycle event, when you watch something and you're not in the drum of life, all of a sudden you can think, you can see, you can dream, you can find yourself. When you're running 100 miles an hour, you can't even have a conversation, let alone find yourself. When you're finally stopped, Shabbat's about finding me. Can you imagine how the rabbi set it up? The way you walk in, the threshold of you walking into the day that is designed for you to get down to the core of who you are, to shut down the physical world so that the spiritual world part of you can breathe, begins with the symbol of what's on the inside is more valuable, called wine, and the statement that I testify that God runs this world, and I want to bring it up a notch. I want to bring me up a notch. I want to bring my life up a notch. Kiddush, if done well, could change you. Because every week, you climb a step. Every week, you move up a drop. The next thing you know, you're on a totally different landing. It's that time of the week you get to stop, sanctify, elevate, deepen. I should have called him. I should have called her. I should have said that. I could be more. I shouldn't have eaten that. I'm going to be bigger this week. That's what it means to be Jewishly great. Deeper, a little bit, every week, every moment. It's the power of the Kiddush, if it's done right. It's not just some bland ritual. It could change you. And my blessing to this incredible crowd. Thanks for all those that have their videos on. I'm looking at these. Oh, what can I say? You guys are awesome. Future of our people. My blessing to you is that we should all live deep lives. We should all figure out a way to get inside every aspect of our lives and elevate it. Make it holier, make it bigger. Recognize that spirituality is the elevation of physical. And I'll leave you with a little task to think about. Think about what is a part of your life. As you think about Kiddush this week, think about your grapes. What are your grapes in life? What are the parts of your life that are physical, that you can go deeper in, that you can crush? Is it health? Is it spirituality? Is it religion? Is it relationships? Am I still too physical? Am I still too focused on me? Every one of us has the grapes in our lives that we are still stuck at the shell, that we haven't had the guts to crush and to go deeper in, and to take ourselves past the physical, past the comfort, past the selfishness, to becoming more selfless, to becoming more stronger. Everyone has that grape. And I ask you to think about that. And if every week we do that, just to think of a few grapes in our lives and to commit to being deeper with at that moment of Kiddush, maybe, just maybe, we'll wake up one morning and we'll look at ourselves and we won't even recognize ourselves. Step by step, growth by growth, as we climb the mountain of what it means to be a Jew. To live in this world, but to elevate it at the exact same time. To merge physical and spiritual. To drink incredible wine, but to also be able to know that that wine is not just to satisfy my physical taste, but to elevate me to a bigger place. With that, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for having me. And I hope and pray that we get to do this live. Maybe one day we can do this live. What do you think, rabbis? How about one day we do this in maybe the Waldorf? What do you think? We go to Jerusalem and that wouldn't be a terrible place to merge spiritual and physical. We can get together and have a Shabbaton together.
Yes.
We can walk the streets of Jerusalem. We can hang out. We do it the way God wants it. Live. I bet you, by the way, if I could just note, I'm sure in the headquarters of Zoom, they're like, what the heck is going on? We built this for companies. What's all these Jews doing? Talking all day. And I don't know, I think we just blew up the whole Zoom business plan. But that's not how we're meant. We're meant to do this together, dancing and singing and being together as one. God should bless you with everything you want in life. You should have the greatest life. You should deepen everything you want. Your life should not only be one where you drink wine, your life should be one where you represent what wine represents to the people that we're meant to be. Thanks so much for listening. Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harary, for your words. Really appreciate it. Once again, beautiful, powerful words. Yeah, just to appreciate the fact that you spoke about wine. Just to throw in one little quick thing about why we make Kiddush on wine. One of the things about wine, which is different than a lot of other things we eat, is that most things have an expiration date. And the older they get, the worse they become. And wine actually, the truth of the matter is that the older it gets, the more refined it becomes, the more special and the more beautiful it becomes. And when we think about life, we often think about, our youth as the best time. And, most of us here are pretty young. And we think that as we get older, we lose that. But the truth is that if we make our Shabbat and really all moments of our life more and more meaningful, then really it's like wine. The more we elevate, the more our life gets better with age, because we tap into deeper pleasures that we couldn't necessarily experience or appreciate in our less developed stage. So yes, that's a part of the reason we make Kiddush on wine. Thank you so much. Okay, so in just a moment, we are going to go into the breakout rooms. Everybody should please make sure to introduce yourself. Everybody should get to know you and share a little bit about how you're going to make Kiddush, how you're going to crush those grapes, how you're going to make life special, sanctify it, and make it holy. Okay, and without further ado, we will be in the breakout rooms momentarily.